Hey, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Abba from the DC Church. Coming at you, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Kadash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being whom the world really calls Jesus Christ, Ba'ashem meaning in the name of Almighty Spirit, Kadash meaning the Holy. Alright, these are the names and the powers that I come to you in order to profess the 100% truth and Lord's will, seal the elect's faith. Shenya Kabaka, will of Rakaz, claim not by Ike. Meaning double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS in these times whom the Heavenly Father has enlisted the 100% truth to. And Shalom Mubarak, Labakam Shal Yasha Allah. Meaning peace and blessings be upon the elect of the nation of Israel. Alright, and to the men out there that's pushing this word in sincerity and in truth, to you I say Shalom Mubarak, peace and blessings be upon you. Alright, now without further ado, it's going to be a quick little video, but I wanted to name it, cherish the position that the Lord has you in. And the reason why I was saying that is I was just thinking about, being in a position to travel and go certain places, or when you meet certain men, tenured men in His truth, and you're able to actually understand that part of the body of Yahweh Shema Shai. It's important for you to cherish those moments and cherish the Akim, collectively, the body of Yahweh Shema Shai. And as the scriptures say in Romans the 12th chapter, that we are many members of one body, and not all members have the same office. Being the fact that we all have different offices and different complexities within our character and diversity within our character, you have to appreciate how the Heavenly Father had created a certain man or a certain brother, because his mind is just completely different than your mind, but it's still aligned with your mind, because we all are a part of the same body. The operation of the left hand pinky is different than the operation of the big toe. And of course I'm using a metaphor, but that's the position that we play. Some individuals or some brothers in this truth play more of a supportive role. Some brothers in this truth play more of the strength role. Some brothers in the truth play more of the protective role. It's just so many attributes and different distinctive characteristics in which the Heavenly Father has given us to make this perfect body of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. It's like it. But you have to truly cherish the fact that you're able to be around the individuals that you are. And for the longest, myself, I wanted to move. I wanted to go live in different state and just get out of Virginia, because I asked myself, I'm like, why am I here just rotting away when there's just so many other places that I can be at? But then when you that's when you look at things as a natural man. But when you look at things as a spiritual man, you can see exactly why the Heavenly Father has you connected to this area. And the thing is, every needful thing the Lord is He's gonna grant unto you. And I stopped feeling that way after a certain while, when I started traveling and going to different places, because the fact of the matter is, you start to acquire and appreciate, you start to show gratitude toward the Heavenly Father and the position that He has you in and the men that He has you around, because when it's time for certain things to transpire, and when certain things do transpire, you have all of the tools that you need, or you're equipped with everything that you need in order for you to succeed within the trials and tribulations in which you're going through. And it wouldn't be the same way had you been somewhere else, and it'll be probably a lot more difficult, because the thing is, the Lord has you like a puzzle piece in that specific region or area or environment that you're in, to basically, because it plays a factor within your life and within within your path toward the kingdom of heaven, because you gotta understand. It's a lot. You understand. You had certain moments where you had individuals like Paul, the other disciples, that were chastised in whatever which land, but they had to go back and prophesy there again. So there were times where the prophets were uncomfortable in the position and the place in which they were prophesying in, but they still had to carry out the mission, because the mission is more important than themselves. All right, and we're carrying the same fire, the same baton, the same mindset to understand that, you know, our mission at hand is so much bigger than just us and what we personally desire. Like, and that's what it really means in that same chapter, Romans the 12th chapter, to give yourself as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the Heavenly Father, is because you're being used according to the purpose of the Lord and not your own personal lust, you know? And that's the big difference. You know, the big difference is that, you know, you understand your course, you understand your action, and you understand. I'm looking for a specific word, but I'm not going to say it because I don't necessarily know the definitive definition of it. But nevertheless, you know, you start to appreciate whom the Heavenly Father is creating you to be through the circumstances that are procured through the environment that you're in, you know. But initially this video was created because I was thinking, you know, that we need to show gratitude, and I was speaking for myself, of the tenured men that we're around, and the Heavenly Father having them around us. And like, bro, when a brother exchanges a salute and says, you know, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakakodash Barak Atha, you know, like, you can't take that lightly. You're receiving a blessing from a man who's well seasoned, and he has knowledge of the Heavenly Father, and, you know, he feels it fit. The Heavenly Father is allowing him to shalak barakim, or send blessings, al-atah, you know, upon you. So that's not a small deal. That's a huge deal. You know, being around men who's been in the truth 10 plus years, almost, you know, a lot of the Rashim, they hitting like almost, you know, 15, 16, 17 years in the truth. That's a long time. That's a long time to be dealing with, you know, the ups and downs of the truth, because the truth comes with a lot of ups and downs in seasons. So, like, you got to think about it. If you in a show 17 seasons, like, you fully invested, you know, if you watch that much. So it's the same concept with, you know, being enthralled and involved in the truth. You know, these men have been laboring for years, you know, for years. And that's not a light thing, man. It's not a light task, not something to be taken for granted. It's not easy. The truth only gets more burdensome, because the thing is, yeah, of course you disperse the work amongst your you know, your brethren and the officers of your camp, but at the end of the day, you are primarily responsible for the individuals who came after you. Okay, their blood is on your hands, and you are required in every which way to prophesy and to upkeep the flock of the Heavenly Father. You know, the scriptures tell you to be diligent to know the state of thy flock, and you know, that takes work, and it ain't easy, because the thing is, the flock starts to grow, and when the flock starts to grow, you're not able to, you know, pinpoint everything that's going on within the flock, like with your own eyes, with your own, or through your own expectation. It has to be through, you know, a part of the flock, you know, that is, and that's part of the reason why the scriptures say, let all things be done in decency and in order, Because for the things that you're not going to be able to see with your own eyes, or characteristics that you may not pick up on certain brothers and so on and so forth, you have officers who are supposed to be doing their job to notate, you know, those specific, you know, things taking place. So, you know, just collectively, you know, show gratitude toward the men that came before you, and, you know, them blessing you and you being in a position to receive and acquire a blessing from a man who's tenured, you know, and even from the least to the greatest, you know. And not to say that none of us are, any of us are the least, but, you know, from the youngest to the oldest in this truth, you know. Being the fact that you're receiving blessings from another man who has faith in Yahweh Shem Shai, you know. All men have not the same faith, but nevertheless, we do have the same belief in our power, which is Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay. Nevertheless, you know, it's a blessing to be in this position, you know. So with that, I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai, Shem Kokadash, Shen Yikubai, Garwala Kabs, the Queen Naba Aith, wa Shalom, wa Barakam, wa Bakan, Shiasha. Until next time, I say Shalom.